Hey guys, what's happening? It's Nate. Today I'm going to show you the key for unlocking the power on your one-handed backhand. Today it's all about the one-handed backhand, and specifically we're going to talk about getting the racket out of D alignment in order to give you more pop and more spin on the one-hander. Today's lesson is for Play Your Court members with a rating of 60 and above. If you're not in the Play Your Court membership, check out the link where you can try for free. All right, D alignment, what are we talking about? Let's revisit the past. Maybe let's go back to like the 60s and 70s where the game is played very linear. And what I'm referring to when I speak of D alignment is on the stroke, the racket operated like the letter D. And what you'll see here is that the racket moves up and then it drops, and this is the base of the D. Now, I'm not saying this was every player. Obviously, there were some really good one-handed backhands through the golden age of tennis, and they were getting out of D alignment. But this is often what we see recreational players still doing. So let's talk about what it means to get the racket out of D alignment. Our goal is to get the racket to where it drops and it gets behind the hip. All right, and we refer to this as the slot. And the slot is the butt cap off-centered so that it has to catch the racket up to the ball. All right, so the racket dropping off-centered allows this momentum and this flip. It's gonna give you more power and it's gonna give you more leverage over the ball because the racket has farther that it has to travel. All right, it's part of the coil and uncoil. All right, so for the one-handed backhand, it's not just quite as simple as pulling the racket back and taking it back further here, because this isn't gonna help us with those high balls, and it's still not gonna give us the momentum out to the ball. So what you are going to focus on is the role of the non-dominant hand, your left hand. We're gonna focus on that first, and then we're gonna talk about what you need to be doing with your dominant foot and how it accentuates the backswing. All right, so from the ready position, the part that we really want to pay attention to is when we are initiating, if I'm in my forehand grip, when I'm initiating the backhand, as I make the grip change, you'll see that I'm facing the strings out to the sidewall. But what you'll also see is that my elbow starts to raise. And now this is personal preference. Wawrinka, if you want to get it up nice and high, that's fine. Or you can start low, that is my personal preference. Then again, I've only been hitting a one-hander for about 6 months, but I feel like the mechanics work just the same. As I take the racket back, although my elbow is low, I'm gonna pull it up high through the back end of the stroke. All right, so what happens now is as I pull it up through the back end of the stroke, the racket is up and it's slightly off-centered at a 45-degree angle. Now remember, we were talking about the footwork and why this is so key. Now, as I go to step in, what you're gonna see is that I take the racket back even further. I'm loading my shoulders even more. I'm coiling, all right? So from here, now as the racket drops, you're gonna see the butt cap is actually facing you. I'm hitting the ball this way, all right? And now from here, as I load my front leg and the racket drops, it's gonna create this shape behind me and then out in front. All right, so this combined with the coil back and then the step is what's gonna allow me to get out of D alignment, drop into the slot, and create that lag out to the ball. That is the key mechanism, all right? And I can't say this enough, focusing on your left hand, taking the racket back, and then stepping across is what's gonna help that racket naturally fall back behind you. All right, now remember, you can't have too much tension here or it'll absolutely kill the ability for the racket to work fluidly. All right, let's jump into demo mode, take a look at these, and we'll highlight these key mechanisms for unlocking the power on the backhand. All right, guys, so in summation, when you're taking the racket back, start with the racket tip up. Let the left hand, your non-dominant hand, so for you lefties, your right hand, allow that racket to take it back. Whether you start high elbow or low elbow, your elbow does want to get up towards the back, well, it has to be up towards the back end of the stroke. And then the key here is to make sure that you're stepping across, which further accentuates the backswing. All right, and now from here, you're dropping into the slot, and you're outside of D alignment. Getting the racket outside of D alignment, you're gonna see just monster gains on that backhand. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you never wanna miss a Play Your Court video, hit subscribe and maybe share it with a buddy, right? If they need some work on their backhand or you think this would be helpful and you're just feeling kind, share it with them. Don't forget to check out the free trial to our membership. If you're looking for players with the same ability in your area, maybe you need a lesson, whatever it might be, make sure you check out that link. We will see you next time here at Play Your Court.